Hi folks, how are you all doing? So this is my review for June 17. Hard to believe. It's been just over a year since I moved to Boston. So came here in the 2nd of June 2016. So yeah, how a year flies. So I guess in terms of June, like I said in my review for May, we were back in Ireland for like 10 days to 2 weeks. And just off the back, or just before we returned to Boston, I went to Brussels for a European project that I was involved in. So it's an Erasmus Plus Key Action 2 funded project that I was involved in, and so it was just finishing up. So I went there for about 3 days, which is quite beneficial. I mean, it's not necessarily for my project per se, but a lot of people that I would meet and a lot of people that I'd be involved with would be part of that as well. So that's good in general to catch up with a few people. We caught up with Kevin Shona for a meal, and randomly, like we'd meet up here and there, but we hadn't seen each other. We hadn't had a meal together, I think, in probably 6 or 8 weeks. So it's hilarious how you can be in the same city and just be so busy in your own sort of world. So I've been working predominantly on my data collection and really just kind of pulling that together, working on the survey, working on the focus group, who are the people going to be, trying to make connections and contacts within some of the groups that I've met at conferences, and really seeing where can we pull those people together and how can we make that happen. I also had the opportunity to speak at the Shriver Consumer Advisory Committee. So that's a session that happens maybe once a quarter, and they invite 2 speakers to come along and just give an input in terms of what they're working on and how I suppose you can get feedback from a whole range of people. And it was a really informative session. Again, built up a few contacts and got to meet with some people there. So I've also had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Jean Fraser, who's the executive director here of the Shriver Centre. So I've met her informally a few times, and she came back to Ireland to keynote at a conference in UL, the doctor conference, and kind of since then, we've struck up a bit of a relationship, and she's been very supportive in terms of my fellowship, which is really helpful. And yeah, so we scheduled a monthly meeting, kind of a monthly catch up, and see where I'm at and how she could potentially help. So that's really helpful. Really important things that happened in June, and one of those was that we had our 4th wedding anniversary, which is great. Secondly, almost as important but not quite, is that I got a fixie bike. So really just trying to get back on the bike. Haven't been doing much cycling since I came here. Okay, it's not really a racing bike, but at least it's something, and it's interesting with some of the hills around Boston, and it's definitely getting me back into a bit of cycling, which is nice. So that's useful. Trying to get out on some of the trails. Myself and Kevin have popped out a few times. There's some really good cycling trails around Boston and just outside the city. So the plan is to do a triathlon in June, and then I was joking, but I'm now half serious that I'm going to actually do the triathlon on the fixie bike, and just see how it goes and have a crack off it. So we'll see. Just towards the end of June there, we had some Kate's family that have come over. So Sean, Nicola, and Emer and Niamh, the Sugrus, or the Shukrus we should say, as they do in Kerry, are coming over for 2 weeks. So that's really nice, and it's kind of exciting to have them around the place, around the house, and being the kind of tour guide, bringing them out for a few bits and pieces. But God knows, I'm sure they'll have an agenda that will rival anybody's agendas for tourist excursions, so that should be great. That's June in a quick wrap up. It's been a good month, a little bit frustrating. Obviously, I'm still sort of battling with some of the ethical application pieces that are here, but nonetheless, we're kind of in the background. I'm kind of driving on, and on a personal level, obviously Boston is going pretty well. Looking forward to a good July. Like I said, we've visitors over. George Galler's coming over, a good friend of mine, popping out to Cape Cod for 2 or 3 days, which I can't wait for. And then outside of that, Marion McCarthy is coming over for a really important conference that's on the end of the month, the end of July. So July's going to be a busy one, and hopefully I'll have made some progress by the time I talk to you next. Talk soon.